Welcome everybody, Ario Masudi here for the Osceola. It is a new age for this great website. That's Jerry Cutts, that's Bob Ferranti, that's Kurt Weiler, and we are your team here to get you set as we move to the Rivals Network presented by Yahoo, and we are overjoyed. Jerry, this has been a long time coming for you and your site, buddy.
Thank you, Aria. We're really honored that Rivals invited us to be the content provider for the Florida State community. And I know we're going to serve a lot of passionate fans that are just like us. We love Florida State, we love covering it, and we want to bring you the best and most accurate stories about your Seminoles. The other reason I'm excited to make the move to Rivals is I get to have guys like you join the team. Kurt Weiler. Kurt has been with the Democrat for years and Florida State beat writer there. And Bob Ferranti, of course, former Democrat employee himself, who's been a long-time Osceola managing editor. And we're just excited to be here to serve you all.
Yeah, and it's a new age, as I mentioned, for the Osceola here as we move to Rivals. My experience with TV, Kurt's experience on the beat, you know him from Tallahassee Democrat. Kurt, we're so excited to have you, man, and we'll make this the right time to come join the Osceola, and what do you hope to be able to provide for the fans?
I mean, you look at the group of guys here, you look at, a network like Rivals and being a part of kind of adapting to the internet age of sports journalism, and I think it's a great group of guys to do it with, a great network to do it as a part of, and I mean, I'm very excited to kind of be able to keep doing what I'm doing. I got a lot of very kind messages the other day of people thinking I was leaving the beat. Maybe people will be happy to see I'm not leaving. I'm moving, I'm staying on, and you will be able to keep following me writing about FSU on the Osceola.
And Bob, you've been doing this a long time yourself. Fox Sports Florida, you've been with the Democrat. You've covered Florida State athletics for years upon years. How excited are you now to see the Osceola go from what you're the managing editor, and you've been that, to go from where it was as this small startup that everybody relied on back before the internet age, to then coming back to it and covering Florida State athletics and bringing it back from the dead, so to speak, and to now jumping to Rivals and making this big leap to a big-time network?
Our first phone call was in 2017. We were talking about what's the future of the Osceola, and we need a vision for the future. And we had a manager that was out of state and just didn't have a lot of interest in helping the Osceola grow. Our goal was to grow, and Jerry's had the vision to help us execute it. We started small. We brought on Patrick Burnham. We brought on some guys like Mark Salva who could help us talk football and be articulate and watch the game in a different view. And now we're bringing on you guys in Ari an expanded role, and Kurt in a full-time role as a senior writer. So I think it's good to be in expansion mode right now. We're kind of gearing up for the season.
Without a doubt. So you got your senior writer, director of creative media, publisher, owner, boss man. You got managing editor. Patrick Burnham, of course, comes from a legendary Florida State family.
Let's talk about some of the other staff. Pat.
Yeah, Charles Fishbein as well, and then all the analysts that you want to bring on.
And the analysts. But, Patrick Burnham, we joke about it, but when his dad took the job at Florida State as linebacker coach, I hired Patrick's mother as my proofreader. And back then we had Steve Ellis, of course, who was our main writer. And you all that have been around the Osceola for a while will remember Steve. And he was the guy we try to live up to as a reporter. He was phenomenal. Not the greatest at keeping the punctuation and grammar. So Patrick Burnham's mother, Barbara, was our proofreader, and she was fantastic. So Patrick, I think, was in high school at the time, and I hired him to, as he says, do yard work. And he eventually worked his way into being a reporter and a writer. And he's worked for, what's important to you all that are listening is Pat has had a journalism background, but he was also head of football operations for a couple of pro teams. He's been a high school coach. He's been in charge of high school relations at the University of South Carolina for recruiting and at the University of South Florida. So not only is Pat a seasoned guy at writing, but he really understands the business of recruiting, and he'll be a big help to us in that area. And as you mentioned, Charles Fishbein. Bob, can you talk a little bit about Charles Fishbein?
I think Fish's passion is to help kids find a college home, get a college degree, like college football. So that all the intentions are great and they're right there. He's really well is that he often says, well, I just talked to so-and-so and so-and-so. It's great that he has all those connections, knows a lot of players from around the state of Florida. Is really building connections around the country, the Southeast too, because Florida State's recruiting very much, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, into Louisiana too. So Fish is really an integral piece, kind of the foundation of, hey, I've watched film of that guy, or hey, I have his phone number. We'll get you guys in touch, and we can build stories through his contacts.
So for the listeners, Charles owns a company that's all he does is he covers recruiting, and he sells his service to college coaches. Jimbo Fisher, PJ Fleck, Franklin, Stoops. So when we're covering something, Fish can hop on the phone and call that head coach and get him on the phone like that quick. So he's really an invaluable resource. He has 75 guys with cameras that are out shooting high school football every day, and so it's he's a very good resource to have.
And I think one of the things we're most proud of at the Osceola, what we think makes and sets us apart from everyone else, is we're going to rely on a lot of former Florida State greats, analysts that we're going to bring into the game. They're going to be a part of our team. You're going to see some videos here this week that show you that, but we've got the names like Charlie Ward, we've got Kez McCorvey, we've got Mark Salva, as you mentioned, we've got Carruthers, we've got Leroy Smith. We've got so many guys that have played the game that's who you want to hear from, guys who have been between the lines and have been in those battles.
Exactly, and not only have these guys done what you just said, but most of them have gone on to coach. And Mark Salva, for example, when Mark finished his career at Florida State at the start of the dynasty, he graduated in '87, became a graduate assistant, and coached here under Coach Bowden all the way through the '93 national championship game. And then when Brad Scott left and went to South Carolina, Mark went with him, coached there until '99, and to this day he works in the pharmaceutical industry, but he still is running camps for high school, college, and college players preparing for the NFL draft. So all these guys that we've chosen to work with us, they get it from the player perspective and from the coaching perspective. Kurt, if you don't mind, can you tell us more about yourself and how you came into the sports writing business?
So it's fine. I'm a Florida State grad. I moved here in 2008, and I haven't left. I guess 14 years. It'll be this next month, starting August. In the middle of August, will be 14 years in Tallahassee. I came here as thinking I was going to major. I did major in music education for a few years. I was close to an end of that degree, realized it wasn't what I wanted to do, pivoted, and have worked at a variety of outlets. I started at Tomahawk Nation, or Chop Chat, Tomahawk Nation. I did some stringing for the Orlando Sentinel, and most recently 4.5 years at the Tallahassee Democrat.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Kurt's done a wonderful job of establishing himself as inside FSU athletics. He's really broken a lot of stories and has a great relationship with a lot of those upper brass at Florida State and covering the Seminoles day to day. Bob's been doing this a long time. Great relationships. Jerry, we're talking about the guy who was VP at Seminole Boosters. He's going to do the all shucks thing, but it. He's big time. And with Pat Burnham and Charles Fishbein, my expertise in the TV business, we think we've put together a cast and a team that will cater to what you guys are. And that's diehards. You're passionate. We know we've got big shoes to fill here on the Rivals Network, but we're confident that we've put together the team to do just that. Articles, podcasts, videos, and much, much more. The message boards are still there. Let's talk on there. Let's have some fun. It's a new day for the Osceola and Rivals. Kurt Weiler, Bob Ferranti, Jerry Cutts, I'm Mario Masudi. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to talking to you soon.